Minister, I want to ask you about the assistance that's available to communities that run festivals, fairs, shows, etc., to help with their running costs. And in particular, Minister, what I want to focus on is insurance costs and the fact that many local communities right now in your constituency, the same as in mine, across the country, are facing the awful fact that they can't even get insurance, they can't even get a quote to run events that they have successfully run for many, many years.
Thanks very much, Deputy. My department runs a small-scale local festivals and summer school scheme. The scheme is designed to support local cultural festivals and summer schools which are not in receipt of other central government monies and which may not be eligible under funding criteria for larger scale events supported by Fáilte Ireland, the Arts Council and similar bodies. The maximum funding available under this scheme is capped at €5,000. My department provides funding to support Gaeltacht Culture, which is the largest group involved in the preservation and promotion of Irish traditional music both at community and national level. The Fleadh Cheoil is organised by Gaeltacht at community level by the local branches in partnership with the local authority, media, other partners and sponsors. Under the Creative Ireland Communities Initiative and the Creative Ireland programme, my department and the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage provide funding to each of the 31 local authorities to enable them to implement their individual culture and creative strategies 2018 to 22. Within this context, many festivals events have received support from their local authorities and further information is available on the Creative Ireland site. The Arts Council offers a range of financial supports for festivals. The Arts Council provides financial support to a number of single art form festivals, theatre, dance, film, and such festivals are supported within the policy context of these art forms. The Council also supports many multidisciplinary art festivals across different art forms, including literature, music, street arts, theatre, visual arts and different areas of arts practice. Its Festivals Investment Scheme, for example, is designed specifically to support local and voluntary organisations to develop arts festivals, and further details are through the Arts Council. Through collaboration with local authorities, Fáilte Ireland's regional festival scheme is available to local community festivals. The scheme seeks to influence culture and arts sector investment in outdoor activation to enhance visitor experience in local communities aligned to tourism objectives. And Tourism Ireland is working closely with many festivals to provide exposure for them in key markets overseas. I might get more time to come back. I know you specifically referenced insurance, and I'll come back on that.
I suppose, and I hear what you're saying, that you do support a lot of local festivals, fairs, etc. But the issue really for a lot of them now is they can't even get an insurance quote day one. So some of that money that your department has available is simply never going to get to local communities. We have a situation where Mohill Horse Fair in County Leitrim, running for hundreds of years, it was reinvigorated about 25, 30 years ago. A huge success. It's the biggest day in the town. In October, it basically keeps local businesses going until Christmas, creates a huge sense of excitement and community. Minister, they can't even get a quote. It's not even about money. They can't get a quote. Last night in Manor Hamilton in North Leitrim, the Wild Rose Festival can't get a quote for the series of events that they ran in 2019, 3 years ago. So, I mean, that is an issue, and you spoke about funding to local authorities, and I suppose my question is, could that funding be used in some way to help these groups get insurance?
Thanks very much, Deputy, and I take your point to relate to the festival in Mohill, Manor Hamilton and many other areas. And my colleague, Minister Sean Fleming, is the specific line minister responsible for insurance reform. He's advancing and has advanced legislation on insurance and is working. There's a cabinet subcommittee specifically addressing the issues in insurance. We're also engaging, for example, in the sports sector on the challenges that certain sporting organisations and community groups are facing. And I know anyone who's a constituency TD or senator is well aware of the challenges that certain groups or activities face in the insurance sector. I will bring your feedback to Minister Fleming and the impact of insurance costs, or even getting a quote itself relating to certain festivals. And I appreciate the point you're making that it is prior to even the drawdown or application of specific funding. So, and it's important that festivals and important historic activities get to continue in towns and villages across the country. And I will bring the feedback that you've referenced to Minister Fleming, and there is an action plan to try and deal with insurance reform.
I hear what you're saying, Minister, and I know about the work going on about insurance reform, and I think that will be useful. But we have a situation in the interim. What's going to happen until those recommendations come forward and they're put in place? So what I'm sort of saying to you is, you spoke earlier about the funding that you give to the local authorities. In the interim, in the meantime, could some work be done on ensuring that at least some of that funding might be available to local communities to get insurance, some kind of an umbrella scheme or whatever, to get some level of insurance? Because the truth is that many of those groups that are sitting down to plan for the end of this year and next year, they're not going to be able to go ahead. They just can't get a quote. They cannot take personal liability for it. So it is an urgent matter, because once some of these festivals stop, how are you going to get committees back up and running again? So is there anything in the short term before the report from the Insurance Reform Committee?
Well, there is an action plan on insurance reform, and it's not a case of it reporting. There is an ongoing implementation of recommendations. There's legislation being advanced, and there's regular engagement with the sector around the challenges that community organisations and festivals that you referenced are facing. And there has been significant progress made across that area. I said it's a key cabinet subcommittee where there's cross-departmental focus from a finance and also justice perspective. But I will bring the feedback you've referenced to Minister Fleming to engage with the insurance sector, but also with local authorities, and your suggestions there. And it is important that we ensure that local festivals are able to continue, and that insurance isn't an impediment to really important and historic local activities continuing. And I will ask Minister Fleming to engage with you directly on that issue.